Your favorite film is awful.
Hello, and welcome to Your Favourite Film is Awful, the show where we take your favourite films and recent releases and defend them against negative reviews. As always, I am Luke MJ Powell, and with me the one, the only, the most handsomest man in his little bow tie, it's Charlie Lilly. How you doing, Charlie?
The name's Lily. Charlie. Lily.
Oh! He said
And I'm Magic Luke. And I'm Magic Luke.
Yeah!
I'm Magic. I'm saying that one for my boy Alan out there who likes to say things about me saying that. He knows who he is.
He knows who he is.
But yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm fucking Magic. And
Fucking magic.
yeah. We are dressed to the nines today, Luke, aren't we?
Well, you're a lot. You
right.
kind of threw this out there very last minute, and I was like, yeah, I think I have a blazer, and hey, a lovely white T-shirt. If you're looking on YouTube, hey, maybe not.
true.
Who knows? It's a lovely T-shirt, but you are looking very dapper with that bow tie.
Thank you very much.
I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Craig is out. Charlie Lilly is in as Mr. Bond. So yeah, that is the big news I have to tell you today, which is that I am going to be James Bond. So yeah. It's not been leaked to the press yet, but
No, not yet. Well, this is
you guys hear it first. You guys hear it first. They were looking for an unknown. Turns out it's me. So
it was the classic situation where they were looking for an unknown to the public, but in reality they wanted somebody with a presence, with a real charm and sophistication. It was the whole Star Wars, oh yeah, we'll get an unknown in, and then we'll actually get in the guy from Attack the Block. Is that what that film's called? Yeah, it was like, oh, we want a guy who's never done it before, but actually but yes, the final swan song of Daniel Craig.
yes, indeed.
No time to.
You say no time to die.
I was going to say no time
today?
to die. Yeah. Pause for a second. Cut this bit out if you remember to. When are we saying?
Well, I was hoping you'd introduce it in, but it's all right, guys. We don't have to cut. I'll just tell you. We have some sad news today.
This isn't the only swan song that we're talking about today.
This isn't the only swan song. Unfortunately, I am going to step down from the podcast. I feel like I've given it a good run with things. I have been... it's been 3 years me and Luke have been doing this for. I've loved it. I've had some great times doing this podcast. But there is things that I want to do outside. Basically, I'm quite a busy guy. I do a lot of things. As you guys may or may not know from seeing me in other podcasts or I don't know, in general, wherever you follow me on Instagram, I don't know. But so and it's been very difficult over the years, sort of balancing full-time job with doing the podcast, doing like jiu-jitsu, which I do, and doing like my filmmaking and stuff and other projects outside.
It's one of those guys. Charlie's got a lot of plates that he's been spinning, and I know I for one have been. I looked it up because this isn't news to me. Of course, he wouldn't hurt me like that.
Just
he'll tell me that he can't do a podcast one day, like the day of, but he's not gonna quit on me the day of.
No.
So I had a quick look. This is going to be our 90th episode. You've been doing this for
No
90
way.
episodes. My count may
No
be
way.
wrong, but I did a quick one. And we've been doing this since the 3rd of March 2019, including our slight sabbatical, which is 2 years, 7 months, and 1 week.
Damn.
Like it really.
That's mad.
It's one of those weird
flown
ones
by.
where numbers, like the more numbers you add to it, the crazier it is. And we've been on a ride, man. It's just been
We really have. So this is the. Did you say this is the 90th episode?
yes,
roughly.
This is the 90 roughly.
Oh my damn! I mean, I feel like 10 more episodes and it would have been timed perfectly. Almost.
I mean, hindsight's 2020 when I give you the facts.
But still, the 90th episode is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, and for us, this is difficult for me to do, guys. I love doing it. For a long time I loved doing this. But there's things that I need to do for myself outside of this, for my own personal reasons and well-being. And I've had to basically it's just time for me. I just need more time to focus on the things that I want to do more of. This has been like, I love doing this, but it doesn't pay the bills, unfortunately. And yeah, I mean, it's difficult. But I mean, yeah, if Luke's going to continue the podcast, I will, happily come on as a guest. If you all sign a petition, enough of you sign a petition to get me back, I may also return. Being the attention seeker that I am, I need to get that validation. So that's all I need, really. But yeah, no. I just it's just been a long. It's just things I want to do outside, really.
We've spoken about it at length behind the scenes. It's one of this is the right move for him right now. As Charlie said, this might not be the end of this whole shtick, and if it isn't, then you can bet that I'll be dragging Charlie back, kicking and screaming for at least an episode or two every now and then.
100%.
It's one of those. I when I originally conceived of this, I approached Charlie fairly rapidly because I knew that his wealth of film knowledge and especially his charm, he's a charming little bastard.
I try.
Was needed to make this concoction what it has been. So yeah, it's one of those. Let's not dwell on the future too much. Right today, this is about. It's the celebration of you being here, and it's the discussion of the farewells of both Daniel Craig's Bond and Charlie Lilly's Charlie Lilly. Yeah, I don't know if you realised this, but when you first signed the contract, you were giving me your name, so you're gonna have to find a new Lily now.
I see. So the next guy who comes in is gonna be called Charlie Lilly.
Yeah.
Carry
on the legacy.
Yeah, of course. Perfect.
There's no co-host. It's Charlie Lilly. It's host and Charlie Lilly.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, this is tough. This is very tough. It's very sad. We're gonna make this a fun episode, though.
Yes, it's probably not going to be not a funeral.
Yes, it's a celebration. It's probably not going to be as maybe well structured as before. We're just going to fucking talk about whatever. I'm going to go. I think let's just go all things Bond as well, as well as talking about the new Daniel Craig's last Bond movie. So yeah, I mean, I think should we get cracking with the podcast and then we just see where it takes us.
And let's see where it all takes us. So
yeah.
I guess the first things first is that we need to do the plot synopsis of No Time to Die. Came out in 2019. Wait, no. 2020. Wait, no. 2021.
Yep. Right, so I've got to do this, and I bollocks.
Yeah, this is potentially your last time.
I've done it again.
Unless you guessed it. So you got to give us that plot synopsis.
You think for the last time, Luke, I'd come prepared with a plot synopsis, wouldn't you? For the last time, you'd think.
Seeing as it's been over 2.5 years, no, I would. I've kind of just assumed that you're just gonna off the cuff it as always.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
All right, shoot from the
hip.
Worked
this far. Why would you change the formula? You got to be like Bond.
That's it. Okay, I give it my best shot. I'm probably going to be a bit all over the place because I've only seen it the once. But here we go.
Same.
So this is James Bond. He's tried to retire again, and you know it's like The Godfather Part 3. You know, every time he tries to get away, they keep bringing him back in. But bringing him back in. So he tries to live his life with Lesaudu's character. I've got a character's name in it already. I'm terrible. I know. From the last movie, Spectre, which you don't want to get me started talking about that one. Wasn't a big fan of that one. But here we have No Time to Die, where Bond is now forced back into action to find out who has been trying to assassinate these members of Spectre. Am I correct in saying that? I am correct in saying that. He said that is well. Felix comes to him first, and tries to bring him in.
Yeah.
And it's
Felix is like, "Yo, there's gonna be a deal or a party. Some mad shit's gonna go down. We need you to be there and stop shit."
Yes. And the same person who's done this has tried to steal a virus.
Which happens before the party.
Yes, tries to steal the virus that can be DNA manipulated for specific people. And this is a very powerful weapon that James Bond needs to stop before the villain, played by Rami Malek, is to release it upon the world, I guess. We'll go into that a bit more. I need to watch it again. Well, not release it upon the world, but release it for specific reasons that we'll get into.
There's
I guess that was about right.
Upon it.
There's a lot of question marks in that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
How else would you say it? How would you say it, Luke? The premise, if you could, off the top of your head.
Okay.
I was piecing it in. That was very sporadic.
Yeah.
There.
So there's a toxin that gets stolen at the relatively. Oh, hang on. So at the beginning, Bond is with his wife. They're having a great time, and then boom! She betrayed him, or did she?
Yes.
And then time skip 5 years. Some guys are like, "Hey, this poisonous toxin thing, we're gonna steal that, sell it at a party. Hey, Bond, come stop them from having this poison." He goes there. It's Blofeld's birthday party. They kill all of Spectre but Blofeld, which wasn't part of Blofeld's plan. It was part of, I want to call him Lucifer. It's like
it pretty much is Lucifer.
They changed a couple of the words to make it sound like a foreign name. It's basically, I think his name is basically Lucifer Satan. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's his plan, who we see earlier in the film with a cool mask, kind of, and then he's Rami Malek, who. It's not toxin poison. It's nanobots. Ooh, scary futuristic technology.
I mean, we should probably preface by saying there's going to be shit tons of spoilers. But,
we've been doing this for 2.5 years. I think they get
no one said anything.
Apart from on YouTube. On YouTube, we haven't been doing it for 2.5
That's
years.
True. That is true.
Who knows? But, what else happens? Oh, and then, they kind of put this... I think Rami Malek's character is going to sell it to other people. Because when they're on the island, there's ships coming, I think. Or he's just gonna... I don't really know. But he has a lot of them, and he's gonna do some bad things. Because if they don't do something now, there won't be a world to save.
Yeah. The classic. It's the classic Bond tale. You know, he's got to stop a weapon that's dangerous and world destroying.
And, some other things happen. There's a new Bond.
A lot of other things happen.
Yeah.
New 007.
New 00. And a new child. So there's the Bond. See, I wasn't wrong.
You've gone straight to spoiler territory. Straight to
fuck everything.
Spoiler territory.
Throw it.
Fucked a lot of them.
Nobody's watching this episode if they haven't seen the film.
The only problem is, I don't think this is out in America yet. Until next week.
Nobody's clicking on this video. Nobody's clicking on this video. But I know the numbers. I watched the numbers, and it's like, okay, everyone saw Bo Burnham. What's our most successful video of late? Oh, is it Bo Burnham? Everyone watched Avengers Infinity War and Endgame? What are our most successful podcast episodes? Would it be Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame?
Oh, and then you've
The
got like
Green
the
Knight.
anomalies. You've got Spider-Man 2 and The Dark Knight. which
That's
did
not
really
an
well.
anomaly. We've all seen it. We've all loved it. Get out of here.
It's true. It's true. Everyone loves them. It's all the superhero movies essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Shocker, because I thought it'd be
somehow-
The Fountain, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no, in fairness, I thought The
It's one of
Green
my best
Knight would be
episodes.
doing better than it currently is. I
Same,
thought,
same.
like, we'd all be coming out of the A24 film being like, whoa, I want to hear the opinions of those two
Yeah.
guys. But I guess nobody's
Fair enough.
watching the film.
Yeah, no, because it didn't get a proper fucking release over here. That's part of the problem.
I didn't.
Yeah.
But that's the weird thing as well, because it was on streaming, so you'd think more people would watch it because it was readily
Yeah,
available.
yeah, it's on
but
Prime,
then it's
isn't
that
it?
whole, like, if it's immediately available online, it doesn't have the same cultural impact because not everyone's going to watch it at the same time. And then the freaking 3 hours after it's released, something else is being released. So it's like there's no ruminating time.
Yeah,
Which I
that's
guess
true.
this got it because it pushed for the cinema release. It got pushed back 2 years for that cinema. 2.5 years. It was meant to come out in like November. Yes, 2 years. Basically, 2 full years. It was like, nah, we see you, pandemic. We're gonna wait. So we all got to get hyped, get ready for this film, get freaking ready for the end of Daniel Craig, who I'm pretty sure at one point said he wouldn't do this film unless they paid him a lot of money. So I'm guessing they did.
I'm guessing they paid him a truck ton.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a recent release. We've both only seen it once. And
Yep.
as such, I feel we can forgive ourselves for the fact that we didn't hit everything. We missed some stuff out, as we always do. How did that happen? We've been doing this for 2.5 years. We've never got the plot synopsis quite
Yeah.
right. Because Liz, with a 1-star review, explains quite simply, went on for a bit too long. He should have died at the 90-minute mark.
Well,
It's a long film, innit?
well, it is a long film. But let's touch on a point that she mentioned right at the end, and that is just to warn everyone again. Spoilers.
Oh,
This-
that's too late.
Yeah,
now.
I know
It's
it's too late. They've already said it. James Bond dies in this movie for the first
But-
time ever.
But at the very end, James Bond will return.
Is that what he said at the end?
Yeah.
I didn't see
At
that.
the end of the
No way.
credits, it says
I didn't say
James
that long.
Bond will return.
What is it? The Avengers. Amazing.
Yeah,
I love that they
yeah.
did that as like he will return. Fantastic.
I do have a theory though. Like, say whatever your point was before I distracted you, and then I want to bounce my idea off you.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, I mean, this is history. This is history in James Bond. The first time James Bond has ever been killed. And just to make sure that he's dead, they fucking give him some poison. They blow him up, and you
bullying.
watch him blow up as well. Because like nowadays, everyone, they don't want anyone speculating online, so they're like, no, he's fucking dead.
It's if he didn't die on screen, he didn't really die. They
It
can
didn't
pull
happen.
him back.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, this is a historical moment. So, regardless of what I mean, it's a big deal, and I think it's something that's to its merit. I think it's quite ballsy, to be fair, for them to kill him off. So I think that gives the movie some credit. I also think that. I mean, I can agree to an extent. I do think the film's very long. I don't think it necessarily needs to be as long as it is in certain places. But it is his last hurrah, Daniel Craig. So I didn't mind it going in.
Yes.
I felt the pacing wise, the first half I thought was phenomenal. Like I was like, this is amazing. Could be something really special. And then I feel like it kind of really slows down in its second half. However, that being said, I've only seen it once, and I do think it's important to watch films more than once, particularly when it comes to pacing, because I think that when you watch things for the first time viewing, you're so focused and worried about what's happening with the plot that you're not necessarily taking in or enjoying in the movie the way maybe it was intentionally meant to
Yes.
be enjoyed. And I know people like Matt from Full Fat said that he watched it for the second time and he felt the pacing worked a lot better the second time. Kind of felt similar to me the first time watching it, so I could see myself also maybe having that same opinion.
Yes.
And also just to preface, if I do say things, I might say things here today that I might not necessarily agree with next week once I see it again. So it's first time viewing. Bear that in mind. There'll be things I forget.
It's always the risk of these recent release episodes.
Exactly.
There's no time. There's no time to think.
No time. Yeah, no time to think.
I do agree with you though that Daniel Craig and his 5 Bond movies. It's the only actor that has been able to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Whether you love him or hate him, it's the truth that this Bond got a story and I guess an arc, very thematical of loss and family, and like he kept wanting to retire and they kept pulling him back in. Did he retire like 3 times? I swear he like at
pretty much
in Skyfall he gets shot and retires.
Skyfall,
In Spectre, I think he's good and he's just in Spectre he's
he
too
retires
old.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he starts.
In Spectre, I think at the end they're like, "Nah, you're too old." No, in Skyfall he's too old. Which one is it? Spectre? I don't remember. Each one since Quantum of Solace, he's been like, "I'm good actually. I think I like this shooting License to Kill shit, but I think I'm good."
See, this is where I would say you're possibly wrong, Luke, and that is, I would argue, he has been trying to retire since Casino Royale. Because if you think about it. He gets with a Vespa, and then they like retire, don't they? They move away, and then she gets killed.
Does she get? Do they get a chance to move away? I remember.
Yeah, they like move to like. Film? Yeah, well, they go to like Italy, and they like kind of relaxing for a bit, and then that's when that whole drowning sequence plays when someone comes to get them again.
Gotcha. He literally did one mission, impressed M, and then was like, "Actually, I'm good." And then the villains were like, "Nah, you fucked us about. You're here to stay."
You've been trying to impress the whole time. You've been trying to retire the whole time.
Blofeld, because it turns out that he was behind it all along. Apart from this film, when it's another guy. We're gonna get into a lot of things. Can I tell you?
We're gonna get into Daniel Craig. Go on.
Yeah.
Is this the
stuff? Oh,
is this the code name thing?
No, this isn't the codename thing.
Okay.
This is my own thoughts. I don't believe anybody else has said this. So it's fresh. It's a fresh take. Hot take. I think that the entirety of Daniel Craig's James Bond run didn't happen. I think it's all the story.
Okay.
Because at the very end of the film...
Oh, yeah, I see.
Wife
I see this theory.
to daughter is like, "Hey, let me tell you a story about a man called James Bond." And then after we all watched him go boom, the credits finish with "James Bond will return." So I think that maybe either this is the first Bond, and then they'll carry on the James Bond name to go with the 007 mantle, because I know that was a theory that everyone held near and dear, or didn't actually happen.
Interesting. I quite like the whole theory that it's a code name. That James Bond is like a spy code name, and like they hire like a new Bond, James Bond, to take that name on. I think that's cool. And then it kind of makes sense for him to
it makes sense why he kept changing his face.
But I just want to put this out there. Daniel Craig has been a great Bond. When he first 100%. Came out, I did not like him. Even though I think Casino Royale is my favourite Bond movie. I didn't like him. I wasn't a massive fan of Layer Cake when I first saw it. Everyone loves Layer Cake off. I'm not the biggest fan of Layer Cake. And that was kind of the film that got him the role as Bond. And then I was kind of like hung up on the fact that Daniel Craig looks like a man that would fuck you up. Do you know what I mean? Like, he looks like a guy, he's like stocky and like, you know, he's blonde hair. He doesn't really look like the Bond that from the books or the way he's described and stuff, you know, and from the previous eras. So I wasn't sure about him at first. I mean, I have this argument with a few people about like, oh, but he's stuck. The fact that he looks like he kicks ass is a good thing. I'm like, yeah, I guess so, but he's a spy. A spy shouldn't necessarily look like someone who sticks out, which is why we'll get into this later. Which is why Pierce Brosnan is my favorite Bond. But we'll go into that later.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously Sean Connery, you know, but
yeah,
he's the first one, so he doesn't really
something.
Yeah, they've all brought something. So yeah, no, but all I can think about, and then obviously when after Casino Royale, I was like, this is fucking amazing. I loved it. Then we had Quantum of Solace, which I didn't like, and then we had Skyfall, which was like, okay, it was alright. I like parts of Skyfall. I still have problems with it. I might not like it as much as everyone else does, but I do think there's some cool stuff in it. And then we had, in my money, the worst Bond movie that I've seen personally, which is Spectre. Mm-hmm. I know people disagree. I did not like that movie. I don't get what. I think Quentin Tarantino apparently really likes it. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Yeah. But yeah, this is not the favourite film is awful, where we actually shit on things. This is where we praise things. So let's get back to this. So what I was going to say is that Daniel Craig is probably the most depressing Bond.
Oh, 100%.
His life is miserable. Yeah, the moment he finds out he has a young, healthy daughter that's alive and he's already missed 5 years of her life, is the moment that he gets blown to smithereens. And it's, I mean, you contrast this with Pierce Brosnan's end in Die Another Day. He finishes his run of James Bond kissing Halle Berry. You know, for all we know, he had a tremendous end to his life. He ran off with Halle Berry, but poor Daniel Craig. I just think that whoever takes on it next has got some big shoes to fill. He's, like you said, he's done everything in terms of that start to finish Bond.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it with some of the other reviews, but I am pretty sure if they are to, when they do bring back Bond as they've foretold, I do kind of hope that they bring it a lighter touch to it, like maybe not hit it as grounded and as hard as these were.
Yeah, I see what you mean. A bit more Pierce Brosnan-y.
Yeah, a bit more like, hey, this is a fun action gadgets. I miss gadgets. Charlie, I miss gadgets.
I know, same. Me too.
I think this entire run, everyone has missed gadgets.
It's true.
But
I did like a little bit that we get in this movie. And I also think that it had to be like this. We'd had all those gadget stuff. This was kind of like the Nolan Bond. Do you know what I mean? This was like the more grounded Bond, and the more modern Bond. And I appreciate it for that, and I respect it for that as that period. I also think that you have to think of the time when Pierce Brosnan was Bond. Austin Powers was coming out at the same time.
Yes.
So that was killing the franchise because it was kind of pointing out the ridiculousness of it. I mean, I watched GoldenEye the other day, and that's when I realised that On the Top is in GoldenEye is being parodied in Austin Powers as a Vanna Humpalot, and I never realised as a kid. But it's 100% a parody. But I find
it up.
Yeah, so
in fairness though, those old, like the previous Bonds, they actually had like interesting, memorable secondary villains.
That's true.
I don't feel Daniel Craig's had interesting secondary villains in those films.
Apart from Bardem, I'd say. No. Sorry. No, what I'm talking about, Mads Mikkelsen in Casino Royale.
He was very
memorable.
The main for his film though? Wasn't he the main villain for that film? And
like the secondary villain
in the next.
Oh, do you mean like the secondary villains? Do you mean? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
like the side villains.
The
yeah, you're right. You're right. There's no odd job, is there?
The Ivana.
Yeah.
Like who else?
That's true. That is true.
Like it's this one. What we get? The guy with the pop out eye.
Oh yeah. I quite enjoyed that though.
He's the memorable villain who at no point with his weird stare did I ever go, oh no, he might kill me. I was always like, yeah, that's a normal dude who with a pop out eye. He had the scare appeal of
Popeye,
the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was just like, yeah, okay, cool. You're no Dave Bautista. You're nothing. Get out of here with your metal thumb. Yeah. God,
Probably do next review. We sidetracked so hard there, but who gives a shit? It's the last one. It's James Bond.
This is the big one. Okay, so this is the critical review, because even though this is a lighter episode for us, we've still got to defend it against the critics.
Oh yes, you're right.
So this is from Joanna Langfield, which is, that name could totally be in a Bond film. Joanna Langfield. That's perfect. This may not be the Bond film. No, this may not be the Bond we want, but could it be the Bond we need? Pandemic-weary audiences might be clamouring for a slick, action-packed, sexy adventure, complete with gorgeous people, even more beautiful scenery, and a heroic end, set to a theme song we all grew up with. And wouldn't that be fun? But it's not this. The final chapter in Daniel Craig's tenure as 007, movie's fault that it was filmed, let alone conceived, years before the world shut down, and for better or worse, they had a plan in place, and now we're all stuck with it. As I was reading that, I felt that paragraph didn't make sense. I can only assume that they went into this film going, oh, this is going to be like classic, good time James Bond. And not
sad, miserable time.
It was sad, miserable Bond. Immediately after sad, miserable world times where we were all shut indoors.
I see, yeah. That being said, it had more humour than usual, I guess. I mean, I really liked Ana de Armas's character in it, and I know a lot of people were saying like we could have done with more of her. She was for the little time she was there, she really kind of stole the screen for a little bit. I think she was really charming, like funny.
I feel a lot of the side characters needed more time, but they dedicated more time to sad Bond.
Yes, I mean it's so sad to the point that like whenever you ever seen Bond before have a female in the series go like, oh no, that's not what we need to do. No, I don't need to take your clothes off. No, I'll just look away. Like it doesn't get much.
Such an odd Bond.
Yeah.
So odd.
But yeah, no, it was.
That's fair though.
But yeah, it's funny. I mean, he's.
So...
Yeah, no, I thought that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene. I thought that scene was really good actually. That whole Blofeld party scene. I thought from start to finish was really good. I think like when it started, like that first set piece when he's in the car and then he throws out the bombs and they're shooting the car and he has that moment where he's kind of like, I don't know, what do you think happens in that moment? Because I was kind of thinking like, is he like willing to die in that moment because of the information he's just found out about?
Oh, you talking about the cold open?
The opening? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I see where you kind of jumped there and had to follow your logic.
Yeah, I went straight.
Yes.
I got excited. I remembered that scene. Yeah. That's why.
I think that kind of leans into this depressed Bond where he thought he had everything and now he's like, nah, she played me for a fool. I don't know. I think that's when he's like, am I going to throw in the towel? I might throw in the towel. If she's betrayed me, I might. And then he just keeps shooting at the glass and he's like, wait... He's going a bit hard for somebody that just betrayed me.
Yeah.
Because then at the end he's like, okay, I'll trust you for now at least.
Yeah, I think he's a bit exhausted by the end. I think that's why he lets them blow him up. I think he's just like, look, every time I try to retire, someone comes to kill me. Like, why do I even bother? I don't want to put my daughter in risk. I'll just
I think part of it is the fact that he can't have his happily ever after that he was hoping for with his fam.
No, yeah.
Can I really quickly say like a nitpick that I didn't like but picked up on fairly quickly?
Go
on. Both times twists happen, and like so she quote unquote betrays him, right? And she's like, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're on about. I haven't done it. I haven't done anything wrong. He's like, nah, fuck you. On a train, fuck off. 5 years skip, sees each other again. I'm still hurt because you betrayed me. And then Blofeld is just like, nah, she didn't do nothing wrong, mate. And he instantly believes Blofeld. Instantly. And he's like, I'm sorry that was a dick. And then she's like, hey, this girl, it's not yours. And like he probably knows because blue eyes. And she's like, no, not yours. And it's like, okay, well, I love you, so I'll protect you and her, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Remy's like, hey, this is your daughter. And he's like, it's my daughter. Oh, no, don't kill my daughter. And it's like, why are you believing the villains? The people that should be making it their job to ruin your day, to twist the knife so many times. And he's just like, what the villain says is true. No matter what. It's all good. I'm not
I guess
gonna
he's
trust
the
my
only
loved
one. For the first answer, here we go. I'm going to defend against you on that give review here now.
Yes, please.
For the first answer, I would say he was looking for a reason to understand why she did what she did, and a reason to forgive her. And Blofeld just gave it to him. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't really want to be mad with her. I think and he doesn't want to believe that she betrayed him. So to hear Blofeld, who doesn't need to say either way that he doesn't need to say that she was a good person and she didn't not help him. She didn't,
Yes,
she didn't help him. So immediately I feel like I understand why he would believe that. The other thing, I feel like he was already kind of willing to save and risk his life for this woman's child anyway. It just happened that it's also his. But like you said, I feel like he already kind of knew that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Also, I think when you're James Bond, you don't have many friends. So I feel like the only people that tell you how it is in your friendship group are the people that try to kill you. So
that's fair. That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
although, I've got to say, in any other situation, this would be one of those where the villain would be like, no, my henchman didn't betray you. What are you on about? No, my henchman's clear with you. And then they go off, and it's still the henchman. It's like in Austin Powers, when it turns out that his wife is a fembot. And with Dr. Evil the entire time.
Wait a sec, that means I'm single again.
Oh, behave.
Fantastic.
Anyway, let's continue. So, there's a story here, but not an interesting enough one to detail. Suffice it to say, Bond, who retired after possibly being duped by his wife, is called back into action because there's a bad guy threatening to destroy the world, or something like that. 4 screenwriters patched this thing together with a few smart lines, presumably thanks to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. But what makes this one work when it does is when it forgets that it's a Bond movie and goes for something far more interesting.
I would agree. I do. And I don't really necessarily I think there's some really good character stuff in this movie, particularly with Bond, that I really like. I feel like this is a very vulnerable Bond. I think that was kind of what Craig was best known for anyway. He kind of blended what George Lazenby and Timothy Dalton brought to the character, which was a more vulnerable Bond. And I feel like this one is like that times a million sort of thing. And I really like that about it. He really felt on the back foot, and I did always feel like he could go at any moment, which I don't think I've ever felt in any other Bond movie ever. So it's got that. What was the last little bit that the review said? Sorry.
It's most interesting when it forgets that it's a Bond film and does other stuff.
Yes and no, because I think that where it kind of falls into its issues is when it becomes Rami Malek sort of talking about why he's doing everything, which I sort of associate with the older Bond stuff. I feel like Rami Malek, if I was to create it, could have had more of a presence throughout. I mean, he has a phenomenal
100%.
Opening scene, like a brilliant opening scene. The opening scene, I was like, this is going to be great. and then he's kind of not felt until like the end of the movie, and then he kind of goes. That's my only kind of qualm, I guess, it's problem with this film.
Yeah, it is a yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is kind of it's kind of a shame because I think Rami Malek has all the chops to be a great villain. Even his performance in what little time he had, I thought he was good. But yeah, it's hard to argue with that, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Because I can see what they mean.
Yes.
But I feel like it was strong enough. It had a good enough blend of the two for it to be a good movie. And a final and a good final finale for.
Yeah, and I mean, to like counter argue, to go against what the reviewer said, it you can't lean too much away from the Bond staples, because then what's the point of it being a Bond movie anymore?
Yes, that is true, because it already does a lot of new stuff as well. Like you got to think like they brought in a new 007. That he's not going around being like a womanizer like he does in all the other movies as much. He's essentially settled down, and it's more team based as well. It's not just him on his own. I feel it's more team based. Sorry, it's less him on his own and stuff with people there. And there's a lot of but I don't mind all that. I think it kind of, like you said, it makes it feel more fresh. But I don't really know where I'm going with this point. But I'm trying to find it hard to defend because I don't disagree with her.
Yeah.
Per se, because I think it's interesting. I think it's a decent point to make.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So, but
I know, interesting. A word no action fan wants to hear. Worry not. There's plenty of that, and director Kari Gijon
Fukunaga. I do struggle. I must admit, I'm sorry.
Fukunaga?
I do love him as a director, though. Just to let me know. Yeah, Fukunaga, I think. Yeah.
Fukunaga.
Yeah.
Brings to it Fast and Furious, but its too long film also asks some questions. Light stuff about the meaning of life, what is love, and do we always have to glamorize the evil villains? Or maybe it's just that Rami Malek is kind of a blah baddie?
Yeah.
He kind of is a blah
Yeah, I
baddie.
wouldn't disagree with that one.
Yeah.
I guess
he needed a bit more time and a bit more. Yeah, he needed a bit more time. I think that's just it. He needed more scenes
time.
where he could do
No
more
time
stuff.
to act.
No time to act.
I feel like they said something about the action. Now I kind of disagree in that I actually could have done with a bit more action. For his last outing, I could have done with a bit more. It was very set piecey and stuff, and there was some cool moments of action. But I could have done with like going completely all out bonkers, like how GoldenEye does when he comes out with the truck, and because I don't think any of the action in this kind of comes close to kind of like some of the action in even Casino Royale, like particularly that chase, the opening chase in Casino Royale. I think that's like the peak of Daniel Craig's run. Is that action set piece is just phenomenal. And I feel like there's some cool stuff in this, but I feel like we could have really done with just a little bit more. I know it's more modern, more character based, but when it started off, I thought, we're gonna get like a proper action-packed Bond for this last one. I would have tried to have gone all out if I was in his shoes. I do think it's a gorgeous movie. I think it looks stunning. Like Cavinago's, he's definitely got an eye for this sort of stuff. I mean, look at True Detective, for example. I mean, I thought that was an amazing looking film. It looked like it was shot on film. I don't actually know if it was or not. I can't remember, but it looked gorgeous.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, it looked gorgeous. But yeah, no, this was yeah, and I just feel like I could have done a little bit more than that. So I disagree with that. I agree with the villain stuff, and I do like the set pieces they go on. But yeah, what do you think about the action and stuff, Luke?
I can agree if you were to say that the action isn't top tier, especially with recent action film releases like your Mission Impossibles, your John Wicks, and this ain't no John Wick, but it's also not trying to be. It's
No,
trying
no.
to be
Doesn't need to be.
like a more realistic interpretation of James Bond, the classic run around and shoot people with a little pistol.
I think Mission Impossible is a better comparison in that, in terms of a good example of how they do set piece action that could be in a Bond movie.
Yeah, and I do agree. Like that, the first set piece when he's like, it's very gritty. Where he's like, "Oh shit, I'm about to get hit by a car. Let's just hide behind this little wall." Let's hide behind the little wall.
That was great.
Car missed him. Great. Does a little jump. It's all
And the
stuff in the
motorbike,
trailer, but it was all
that was great.
And the motorbike up the stair thing.
Yeah,
that was great.
that was sick.
It was in the trailers.
Yeah.
But, hey, it was great.
Yeah.
And if anything, that's good that it was in the trailers, because then they didn't show off too much of the later stuff that goes down. But even then, the later stuff that goes down is the forest stuff that we saw in the trailer, and I guess the stuff in the silo. And then, of course, the party thing that was also in the... I'm pretty sure that kick that Anna de Armas does is in the trailer.
Yes, I'm
And
pretty sure
everyone was
nearly
like, "Ah,
everything she
can't
does
wait."
is in the trailer.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I need to rewatch the trailer and just be
Yeah.
like, how much this film is in there?
No, literally.
Um,
Do you think that Bond, instead of drinking martinis, he would drink innocent smoothies, like while he's trying to like diet or something? But he probably doesn't need to die because he's
no, I'm
constantly
pretty
running
sure
around.
we
isn't he?
see
He's
his,
a
like-
spy, so why would he not be in shape? That doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
Just don't listen to me,
When
everyone.
he takes his 5-year gap, I'm pretty sure we see his little like cabinet bar, and it's just side to side full of alcohol bottles.
Oh yeah, he does. He's a bit of a pisshead, isn't he? Old.
He's such a pisshead.
Oh, I think I read a statistic that Daniel Craig's Bond has drunk the most on screen than any other Bond.
Really?
But Pierce Brosnan's Bond has killed the most people.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
fair.
interesting.
I feel like that's going to be like he blew up a building that had lots of people in it, so he didn't like go around going, "You won."
I mean, he does ride a
3.
tank, doesn't he?
Does ride a tank. That shit was great.
Yeah, amazing.
I love that. What had previously been like one of the top tier Bond films, most realistic, most loved, also involved Pierce Brosnan just busting through a wall in a tank and being like, "Pa pa, oh, it's dusty."
No, that movie's ludicrous in the best
So
possible way.
fucking good. I love GoldenEye.
Amazing.
Before we continue, I do want to say,
Yeah.
right, and I do feel this is gonna, because I agree with your needing to watch it again. Of course, sometimes I'm like, one and done, it's all good.
Yeah.
I feel I need to watch this again, but with the caveat of having watched Spectre recently, because I don't remember when I watched Spectre. I think I watched Spectre during first lockdown, which was a year ago now.
Yeah.
And so it's not fresh in my mind. And it does. This one picks up immediately, and then there's the 5-year gap where it's
You're
like,
fine, mate. You're fine.
I'm fine.
I watched it recently, like that week. You're fine. You don't need to watch it again.
I mean, yeah.
You're fine.
The first half of the film is just them being like, now we're gonna kill all the Spectre.
I'm glad they dropped that he's all like his brother and stuff. Like they didn't really talk about that.
They
in the new
didn't.
one, no.
He as he's like choking him out, he's like, "Die, brother, die." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to kill my brother." Yeah. "Oh no, I killed my brother." "Oh no, oh sad."
Yeah.
Also, it's nanobots. So why do we need so many? Surely you only need as many nanobots as there are people in the world, and then you just spread it, and then you make one nanobot which goes, "Hey, kill this person," give it to one person, and then just let it work its way. Like, why do you need a silo full of the stuff? I don't think you need that much.
I did quite enjoy the scientist though, who
That
ended
was
up
fun.
In the acid stuff.
Yes, in the
I'm
nano,
melting
the
and
nano.
stuff.
I guess
Yeah.
that's what happens when you don't program the nanobots. They're just like, "Hey, nom time."
You definitely wanted him to die as well after all that. He was a little worm, wasn't
Yes, the treacherous little coward.
he? Yeah.
Yeah. Always swallowing microchips and whatever.
Exactly.
Little shit. There are some undeniable bright spots along the way, thanks to returning players Ben Whishaw, Naomi Harris, Jeffrey Wright, and Ralph Fiennes. Lashana Lynch shows potential as a member of Her Majesty's Secret Service, as does a glowy Bill Magnesian. Oh God, I'm butchering all of these names. Bravo to Ana de Armas, a knockout who knocks out the enemy with a style and voice as high as her heels. And to Craig, who digs in and gives an actual performance, reminding us of the soul behind the tuxedo, or, even better, the bathing suit. And I'm going to add like a finger gun and a wink, because remember that time he got out of the sea like a Bond girl and all the ladies swooned?
Yes. Yeah, that was like the image, wasn't it, of him, like, look at this.
Yeah.
He's jacked.
It's like that. This isn't your normal. This isn't your granddaddy's Bond. This is a new, fresh Bond.
Yeah, with abs.
With abs. He's a sexy treat. If that's what you're into, and if you're not, you want to be like it, right?
You still appreciate that. Yeah, 100%.
Which kind of leans into the whole idea of James Bond and the idea that Austin Powers took the mickey out of is that Bond is the guy all the girls want to be with,
the male
and
fantasy,
all the guys want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that last paragraph was actually just full of niceties. I was just like, hey, these people did a good job. I guess that's why it wasn't like a full down in the dumps review. It was like a there's some good bits.
Yeah, I think regardless of what you think of this movie, I think there's some good stuff in it. Some stuff that you can't deny is like good bits of Bond or memorable bits of Bond.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's tough because I think I'm surprised more people haven't spoken about sort of like the second half, but maybe that means that I need to see it again and that it doesn't feel that way necessarily when you watch it again, or it was just me.
I mean, in fairness, there's only been 2 reviews.
That's true.
And I feel like somebody says it. I read many reviews that mentioned it. I don't know if I included any because, they all kind of ramble or that's all they say. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
This one is from Dominic Hill. It is a 1 out of 5. There are paragraphs, but it's also just one long sentence, so I'm going to read it as such. I'm not reading it as such. This is actually really long. The plot is ridiculous, rushed and far-fetched, especially compared to the other Craig Bond films. The main plot twists are completely out of character and have never been in any other Bond films or book. Just the one book. I'm going to say that that's a paragraph, because then they press enter. Anything to say after that?
I haven't necessarily a problem with it not being in the book. I mean, the films are adaptations that are trying to do something different. We've had a lot of Bond movies, so I don't mind them trying to go off the beaten track with certain things.
Aren't there more books? No, aren't there more films than there are books at this point? Because they're just readapting the same chunks.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. So I guess it kind of is. There's some weird stuff in it. I guess the motivations of Rami Malek's character can be a bit confusing. I wasn't quite sure of that, but I think the whole ride up to it and the mystery in that was really good, and intriguing, and it keeps you involved. And I think particularly like with the betrayals of particularly that whole scene with Felix, I thought was amazing. The scene on the boat, I thought that was really good bit of tension, and I feel like he had the most sort of chemistry with that character. Even though they had a really little amount of time on screen, I really thought that they were good friends.
Was that character? Was Jeffrey Wright in another Bond film?
I think so. I can't
because
remember.
I know that the character of Felix is meant to be the closest thing to a best bud outside of MI6 that Bond has.
Yes,
but
I can't remember.
When I watched it the other day, I was like, "Oh yeah, Jeffrey Wright's in this." They have a real chemistry, and they're acting as if they've been friends for ages.
But that's a good sign. A good sign of a movie, though, when you feel that way. Regardless of if they're in
felt
it.
I was like, I have no attachment to this relationship. I just met you.
Yeah,
you did great work in Westworld, but I don't know you here.
But yeah, no, I really like that scene because I think like you said, it really you really believe them as friends, and it kind of makes you like, oh damn, like I didn't want him to go. And the betrayal of that guy was quite fun and like and well done as well, because you don't really expect him to do that because he's kind of like goofy. But then you really wanted Bond to get him by the end of it. So like, I liked all that. So like I said, I think the whole entire setup of this movie, I think, is really good. Like, and really keeps you on the edge of your feet. And like, particularly when it comes to when the scene in the woods where they're like coming after the child, and what's Lisa Doe's character in it?
Melissa? Something like Melissa or Mary or does any of these reviews say it?
Yeah,
this
I'm
one
pretty
just
sure
says
it's
the wife.
I'm pretty sure it's that. It just says the wife. No way.
But yeah, in the review I just did, it just says
right. I thought you said like on the
wife. No, not on anything official.
Madeline. That's the one. Madeline. So yeah,
Felix.
Madeline is that scene when she's like hiding out with the kid, and Bond like takes out that guy with the truck, doesn't he? He like pushes the truck on him.
Yes.
It's quite funny.
Oh, brutal.
And then, but it's cool because it's like, oh, and then Rami Malek turns up and takes them. I thought that was a really good bit of tension, and like I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that as well. I thought that was well done. Yeah, I mean, what was the other points? I'm really losing, like forgetting the points today that the people keep saying.
It is a ridiculous, rushed, far-fetched plot compared to the other Bond films. Craig Bond.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was rushed. Let's go over that. It definitely wasn't rushed. 2 hours 45 minutes. It definitely wasn't rushed.
That is fair.
Yeah.
And the plot twists are completely out of character, and have never been in other Bond films or books.
The plot twist
Just
is
the one
out of
book.
character. Yeah, but this is like his last one. Like, how can you say it's
Let's
out of
see
character
Old
because it's
Man
not in the
Bond.
book? That's the only reason
Yeah.
why. But it's like it's different.
Let Old
you
Man
know?
Bond be out of character. Just
Yeah,
because he's
it's
not trying to fuck everyone doesn't mean it's out of character.
No, literally, yeah. It's like let the man try and settle down and live a
Yeah.
happy life. But no,
He meets 2 women and is rejected by 2 women. Therefore, that's not Bond. That's not the Bond we know. Naomi and Anna don't fuck him immediately. This isn't Bond.
yeah, people get annoyed about it. It's like I mean, he's trying to settle down. It's his last movie. He's getting on. You know what I mean?
I mean, literally, I think it's Skyfall. Yeah, I think it's Skyfall after he gets shot. They're like, yo, you're too old. You can't be doing this spy game. And then he does 2 more big adventures just to kind of stick it to the man who said no.
Yeah.
The antagonists have no real depth and therefore are easily forgotten, and Bond himself is just sad and disappointing to watch, as he's stripped of any of his traditional personality traits, resulting in him not being the same character that has managed to feature in 24 previous films. It doesn't really feel like a spy film, let alone a Bond film, and I hope the directors go back to what makes the Bond films great. Something I feel they tried hard to achieve after Die Another Day with Casino Royale. And that's the end of the review. That was a big sentence, that one.
Yeah, I could maybe understand that in terms of the sort of lack of espionage stuff, but I still feel there's quite a bit of that still, like heisty kind of stuff. You have the Bluefields Party, which I felt you had that spiced elements to it. It felt very old classic Bond. And it's interesting because obviously we've had one review that's complained that it's not like the old stuff, which is this one, and then we've had other reviews that said they liked what the new stuff was but didn't like what it turned to the old stuff. So it's kind of like
the classic subjective nature of movies.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think he could have done with more of that stuff. Maybe I think more like heist sort of stuff, tension, as opposed to more like less set piecey action and people standing around talking about their motivations and stuff. But yeah, I think what we got was fun. It's hard to say. I'm trying not to give too much about my opinion of the movie, and just trying to defend it blankly, because I do agree with some of these negative reviews, and then also disagree with them.
Yeah, it is one of those that it's understandable, but I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think, apart from the fact that it's a Bond movie, that this has ever been advertised as a spy movie. Like. Sure,
yeah, but I guess that's what you expect.
If you go to see a Superman film, you expect a big action superhero movie, and if you got a Clark Kent film for the majority of it, you'd come out disappointed. But if it never advertised itself, apart from a title alone, that this is part of this franchise, you can't really fault it for not being what it was never pretending to be. Yeah. And especially the Daniel Craig run. It has never pretended to be a full spy movie. It's always been it's very much been like more of a mystery of the characters trying to figure out who the fuck is the one being the villain. Because I know in Spectre, it turned out that the villain was C, the MI5 guy, I think. I mean, Blofeld was the big guy, but
yeah, I can't remember.
Wasn't Moriarty the sexy priest?
Yeah.
He was like the secondary bad guy, right?
Yes, he was.
And it was like, who's fucking up the system? Yeah.
No, that's true.
But yeah,
the point I would say to that review we said about he didn't have similar traits to other Bonds. I think my argument to that
of any of his traditional personality traits.
Yeah, I think my argument to that would be that Craig's run's been different in that it's it's a start and a finish, isn't it? He changes as a person, and I feel like by this one, he's not that guy anymore. He's not that guy making the sarky comments as much. I don't mind that not being in it because this is the last run he's had. He's had that beaten out of him almost. He's almost been a bit humbled by it almost. Like he's had that the charm taken out of him. He's had he's still charming, isn't it? He's had that kind of more boisterous nature, cocky nature, I guess, taken out of him that he has in the earlier stuff. And I don't mind that as much because it shows like a character progression, and especially for his final film, I don't mind that. I can get why someone wouldn't like that if that's not what they're going for this Bond movie, but this isn't what this Bond is trying to do. It's trying to do something different. Maybe, and I do think you made an interesting point though about how this one is kind of like Die Another Day in terms of it goes more actiony and less kind of spy-y than the other iterations do, and that he hopes with the next one they go back to kind of what Casino Royale is. I think that's really interesting because I could kind of agree with that to an extent. I think for me, I mean, if I ever got my hands on the chance to do a Bond movie, what I would love to do would be I would love to have the cold open action scene. I would have the second act. I would have like an amazing action scene at the start. Second act be like a kind of tension, more heisty type stuff. A bit more like From Russia with Love. A bit more like conversational, getting information out of people, but having tension. And then have the final act be all out action. Because I think then you get everything you want from a Bond movie. You get your two big action set pieces, and then you get like your spy, charming conversation, swooning people into giving him information kind of stuff. And I think there's a lot you could do with that. And my casting obviously would be Michael Fassbender, but he's too old now, unfortunately. But I think he would have been bloody perfect as Bond. But yeah, no. So I do get. So I think that would be a cool way to see if they went in the next Bonds. I think I'd like to have less sort of set piece in, because this one kind of a bit more Nolan-y in the sense that there's a lot of set pieces, action, but not a lot of like memorable moments of action within the set piece per se. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I will say that it has been a staple of Bond to go to exotic locations and. Oh
yeah, I love that. I love that stuff. Yeah, 100%. I'm not taking that away from it. Almost, I'm saying more like like I'm saying more like 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 this. How can I put it? Like the end kind of thing. The kind of end when they go to the base and stuff.
Yes.
They're kind of just picking people out, but I feel like there could have been a bit more tension in that. I mean, there is right at the end when he's trying to shut the bond, the things to stop him from being blown up and stuff. That was all great, but I think before I could have done with maybe a bit more like tension and him having him fight and like have the action to be a bit more memorable. It's kind of like onto the scene of the villain talking and having the person, and Bond shoots someone else, and then the villain's back and he's doing something more. And do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that in terms of like, there's no moments of the shooting or the shooting action or the fighting action or the car action where you're like, oh, that bit was sick, necessarily. Apart from little tiny moments of like, oh, he shoots his motorbike up the steps that we saw in the trailer, sort of thing. I mean, maybe this is very kind of nitpicky, I guess, but I still think it was really great. I think it looked great, and I thought I like that about this Bond. I think it's what separates him from the others. So I'm not necessarily complaining about it. I'm just saying, like, if they were to go in a different direction for the next Bonds, this is how they could do it.
Yeah, make it more espionage filmy.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel.
What do I know?
There's not really been this one and the last one definitely miss a kind of like sneaking, being amongst the henchmen, pretending to be another henchman, and then being caught out, which like the closest you get with this film. And I'm pretty sure the last one is he's at a party and everybody is like, oh, it's just another party goer, apart from Blofeld being like, hey, thanks for coming, Bond. And then they all look at him and it's like, we knew it was you all along. And it's like, okay. But yeah, there has been a lack of like sneak into building, get file, sneak out of building, garrote one person, hide them in a cupboard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been, oh no, there's a guy, bang, dead. Okay, move on.
Next guy,
sneak,
yeah,
bang.
It's true.
Sneak, bang.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, I can understand this. But then, you know, as we said, he's old. He's old man Bond. I now feel like they should have given him more wrinkles and stuff and proper leaned into
old man
this
Bond.
is his. He's old now. Give him a cane. Let him walk around. Just fully hobbling around. He falls,
beating him with
that
a
bit
stick.
when they like push him down the stairs, he falls down. He's like, "Oh, my hip! Oh, I can't get back up." Rest of the film, he's in a wheelchair. I think that's what. If Austin Powers comes back at some point, I feel like that's what's gonna. That's it. It's gonna be old man Austin Powers just slowly degrading.
No, what I need from Austin Powers coming back is I need the crossover of Austin Powers and Black Dynamite. And I think they both need to come to the modern day, and it's about them trying to adjust to like how things like to like the political climate of like what you can and
have
can't
it like
say.
Daniel Craig has just become more PC. Just have Austin Powers literally leaning over women and being like, "Hey,
Should we shag now or shag later?"
And just smack him.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
But just them as a buddy cop duo, I just think would be incredible. Like two of my favorite comedies ever. So
okay, we're gonna skip that one and we're gonna go to KRNDVS 101.
Okay.
Carnivus 101. I guess that's 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 5. No Time to Die sucked ass. It's your opening line. How do we feel about that?
It sucked ass. Is that what they said?
Sucked ass. AWS ass.
Right.
No
Well,
Time
let's
to
see.
Die
Let's
sucked
hear
ass.
this explanation.
The dialogue was clunky. The plot was all over the place. The villain was bad and unremarkable, and the audio was sometimes inaudible/deafening at times because of the sound effects, score, and ADR. That's sentence
I thought
2.
the score was amazing. Mr. Zimmer smashed it again, in my opinion. I thought the score was fucking great. It I really like the score. I thought I really felt it, and I feel like it was kind of lacking in some of the others. I think that, I just maybe I guess you could say some of the plotting was kind of all over the place at times. Like, I feel like maybe it could have been a bit leaner, told a bit sooner. Some of it do have to like stay too much on certain scenes, but I wouldn't agree with it being messy or. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it was particularly like bad. Do you know what I mean? I don't think any of
it
this
wasn't
bad.
all over the place. It was just a little. As Rami Malek says, it could have been a little tidier.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little tidier.
Just a little tidier.
Yeah, exactly.
Ana de Armas was given a cheesy, quote-unquote, charming character that had little to do. Lashana Lynch's character was cast aside and made to roll over pointlessly, and I didn't understand what Rami Malek was trying to do, who he was trying to be, or why he was bad.
Yeah, that's a tough one to argue against, because I also found it quite difficult to understand.
Yeah, he was bad because Melissa's dad
Killed his inspector family?
And killed Rami Malek's family and left him with a skin condition, I guess.
And therefore he seeks revenge on his daughter, who had nothing to do with it. Even though he already killed her mum. Yeah.
Yeah. Weird one. Very strange. And we've already mentioned about Ana de Armas.
Is she called Paloma? Is that what she's called?
Yes, Paloma. Something like that.
Yeah.
Something close to that. But yeah, Paloma and Naomi's characters, I felt they could have been in it more. Especially Naomi's characters. The character of Naomi, the new 007.
Yeah, because she was in it, but she kind of didn't. It felt like she didn't really do much when it comes to like the third act. It was kind of like she kind of just left the movie a little bit.
All of the like, oh, I'm the new 007 had already kind of fizzled out by then.
Yeah, because I really liked that stuff. I thought that was actually really good. I really liked the start, how that was like they were kind of like competing with each other. I feel like they could have gone.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done a bit more with that. But yeah, and then she kind of just became best friends with him towards the end, and then just left the movie. That was kind of a shame because I thought she was really good in that first half.
Yeah. In hindsight, I now, after saying it, I do feel they should have aged Daniel Craig up more and then had more action sequences with Naomi. So, like, together they were the perfect 007 James Bond because he'd had all the experience and doesn't give a shit anymore. But she'd have, like, the fresh training and the brutal attitude.
Yeah.
Whilst with this, we get a bit of the brutal attitude when she's like, hey, I'm the new 00. Get in my way, I'm going to shoot you in the leg. The one that works. And then she gets, like, I guess James Bond is like, hey, follow this guy. And she follows that guy, but doesn't get to that guy in time. And is like, cool, you gave me a good lead. We're buds now.
Yeah.
Have your title back.
Yeah.
Be 007 again.
Yeah.
But, that said, in the limited screen time that she has, and as the limited time that she's available to do this little arc, I feel it's done. She does good with what she was given. And
Yeah,
I feel
think
both
so
of
too.
those are real good characters of Paloma and Naomi. They're good additions to the Bond world.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. It did make it feel a bit more fresh. And I thought they were solid until they kind of left. Almost.
Yes.
So they had their moments, which they justified being in the movie. I feel like, yeah.
And they justified desire for them to be in more of the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Where am I?
Do you have much of this review left? Because I've got questions to ask, actually.
Oh, okay. We're about halfway, if you can remember your questions. Or
Okay,
I can just blast through this. No.
Yeah, let's get through this one. Is there any good points it makes?
I don't remember. The action was good at times, and yes, I know Bond is essentially a superhero, but some of the scenes made him look immortal and untouchable, completely wiping out the humanization accomplished by Skyfall. I can agree with that.
Kind of agree, yeah.
He gets shot by Rami and is just like, ow, and then maybe has a little limp as he accepts death.
But I also still feel like his Bond is still more vulnerable than like other Bonds.
Oh yeah,
He still
other
takes
people,
more of a beat down than other Bonds.
And somehow Daniel Craig's final entry into the franchise managed to make the same mistake Pierce Brosnan's final films did. Infuse the plot with an over-the-top, hard-to-understand suspension of disbelief technology. I know that Quantum of Solace is much maligned, but I think it's best we consider Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall a trilogy and pretend that Spectre and No Time to Die are non-existent.
Interesting.
End of review. I kind of just squished those last two paragraphs together.
Interesting. Well, that kind of goes into my question, I guess, because I would like you, Luke, to rank your Daniel Craig Bond movies. If you can. Off the top of your head right now.
Skyfall, Casino Royale.
Skyfall's your favourite. Wait, is this from 5 to 1 or 4 or 1 to
top to bottom,
5?
Yeah. Top to bottom.
It is 5.
Whichever.
Yeah.
I guess 1 to 5. Top to bottom. Best be. I really like Skyfall. I know that the second half is like it does kind of become Home Alone.
Yeah.
It's not 100%, but I think there's enough of the rest of the film that kind of is like, yeah, it's all right. And I feel it's the closest. Well, it's not. I feel it's the closest to a normal Bond film, if that makes sense.
No, I would agree. I would agree with that. Yeah.
And then I'd say Casino Royale is number 2. It's the fresh take. It's it's cool. It's got the action. It's got the drama. It's good times. He fucking dies. Good stuff. Then 3, I guess, is I guess Quantum. I've seen Quantum more than I've seen Spectre, to the point I think I only saw Spectre last year.
But where's No Time to Die?
That's a great question. Maybe this then? Is this better than Spectre? Is this better than Quantum of Solace? How bad's Quantum of Solace?
Right, do you want me to give mine then? Because I feel like you're lost.
I feel like the third place
I
is
can
just
correct
a
you
muck.
with it.
Yeah, go on. Hit me with yours.
Okay, so I need to rewatch Skyfall and Quantum of Solace, but this is just from memory.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, without a doubt, hands down, Casino Royale for me. I think Casino Royale is also my favourite Bond movie, probably. I haven't seen Her Majesty's Secret Service. So I can't necessarily say about that one. Or Goldfinger. Well, I watched it when I was a kid, but I can't remember it. So, yeah. Casino Royale, number 1. Then we have Skyfall, probably.
There's so many questions at the end of that.
But it could be between this and Skyfall and No Time to Die. No Time to Die is number 3. So it could. I need to rewatch Skyfall again, and I need to rewatch this again to decide. But yeah, them two for second place. And then, but yeah, I'd say probably Skyfall second. This, then Quantum of Solace, Spectre. That would be
okay.
Yeah.
It's one of the. So it is part of like a 24 film franchise.
Yeah.
But because it is 5, it's like this individual story. So I need to rewatch it, and I can just watch 5 films.
It's true.
It's
no like 20.
Yeah, it's no fucking Marvel franchise where you got to watch 3 movies and a TV show to understand what's going on in another movie.
No, exactly.
That's what it's going to be like, Charles. That's what it's going to be like. It's so weird.
Yep, it is.
So you said that Casino Royale is your favourite Bond.
I think
Full
it is.
stop.
I think it is, yeah. From what I can remember. I mean, like I said, I need to see on Majesty's Secret Service, which is a lot of people say it's one that is the best ones. I watched the opening of it, and I was like, this is amazing. Ooh. And then Matt saw it, and he was like, "Oh, should we watch it together?" And I was like, "All right, okay." So I stopped it, and then we haven't watched it together.
Never watched it again,
but we will, because I want to watch it, especially now. Now's the time to watch it.
Now is the time. Do a James Bond marathon.
Oh, so do you want to do my top 5 Bonds of all time from what I've seen?
Sure. I'm going to pull up as you say your top 5. I'm going to pull up a list of the films because I can confidently say I don't remember the titles of all 24 Bond films.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to struggle because I don't remember. I haven't seen all of them. I don't remember a lot of them. But I think I'm going to go with, like, number 5 probably being Skyfall. Number 4 being The Spy Who Loved Me. Number 3, GoldenEye. Number 2, From Russia with Love. And number 1, Casino Royale.
Fair. Okay. Let me look here. I'm going to say GoldenEye is great, and I love GoldenEye.
GoldenEye is great.
Everybody, so in
we're gonna rank our
classic British staple,
yeah,
you've got Doctor Who and you've got James Bond,
yeah,
and everyone kind of has an affinity to whichever one was big during the time when they were growing up.
Yeah. Exactly.
So for me, David Tennant is my Doctor. For me, Pierce Brosnan is my James Bond.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of similar in that.
Say what you will about, I think it's The World Is Not Enough, which I believe is the villain who has a bullet in his brain which is stopping him from feeling pain, and so he's like, cool, fucking gonna destroy the world because I can't feel anything. It's just like, fucking fuck off, mate. What are you on about? Okay, so I'm gonna say GoldenEye number 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, whoa, oh, it's a weird one because I feel like Casino Royale on 2 separate lists. I feel that Skyfall is is the best Daniel Craig film, but then I feel like Casino Royale deserves like a second place in all of the Bond films.
Well, do you know that Casino Royale is directed by Martin Campbell, who also directed GoldenEye? So he directed both Pierce Brosnan's first Bond and Daniel Craig's first Bond movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say Casino Royale as number 2. Can I temporarily I'm gonna hyphenate that with Skyfall as like the Daniel Craig entry to the list.
Yeah.
And if I can find other films, I'll move it up or down. And then it's Goldfinger, the ones where they gets painted gold, isn't it? So
I haven't seen Goldfinger in a long time, so I can't remember, but it's supposed to be sick, so
yeah, Goldfinger's sick. And then so that's 3 or 4 depending on this list. What else is on here? Octopussy. I remember a scene in Octopussy where he like fights 2 women and then throws them in a pool, and then he also gets in the pool and just like holds their heads underwater as freaking army men come out, and he's like, "Oh no, we thought you needed help," and he's like, "Nah, I got this under control," and then just like picks them up so they can breathe, and then puts them back under the water. Like, I'm macho Bond.
They're so weird.
It's so good. So yeah, I guess that can be 4, and I feel Thunderball. Isn't Thunderball the one that everyone loves? And Dr. No. I'm gonna say Dr. No, the classic, the first one.
Yeah.
The OG can be number 5, and that's my list.
Done.
I already forgot the order, but the listener, you've committed it to memory, right? You know.
Yeah.
When you meet me in the street, you can look me in the eye and be like, "This is your James Bond order, as said in this podcast." And I'll be like, "No, actually, I rewatched it recently. It's this order instead." Because that's the way it goes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Should we still do our double
yes.
bills?
Oh, you wanted to do double bills? Oh,
Sure.
shit, yeah, we've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I want to do one more, because this is the last one that we would do.
One more review.
Last one. And it's
Okay,
a sentence,
alright.
so I feel...
Okay,
we'll do
it's
one
a
more.
sentence. Okay, that's good.
It's a sentence. It's from HAL 9009? HAL 9009.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 1 out of 5. It's one sentence. The Last Jedi of the Bond franchise.
Interesting. So what? So it means it's a masterpiece then? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think it means it's Marmite.
Yeah. I could see that.
Depending on what you wanted out of the series, out of the franchise, it's Marmite.
Yeah, maybe I could see that for people. I don't think it says... I don't think it is as polarizing because I don't think it's as good as The Last Jedi.
Fair. Well, that's why I included it, because I knew your stance on The Last Jedi.
Yeah, but I can understand that from someone who doesn't like both of them,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
That's fair. I mean, I think it's a good thing that it's... Like, even though it was a 1 out of 5, I think it's a good thing that they didn't say it was the Rise of Skywalker of the Bond franchise.
Yes, that would be a problem. Yeah, that would be a big
That
problem.
would have been the insult.
That would have been... Don't get more of a big insult than calling something the Rise of Skywalker. I call my shits better names than the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, get all the Rise of Skywalker digs in
Yeah.
now, where you still can.
Yeah, do you know what? I try to be positive about films, but it's the only one. I just can't bring it in. I can't. It ruined my love for Star Wars, so...
Ruined your
Take
life.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I sound such
But-
a little moany little teenager tonight. Yeah. Yeah, everyone knows Star Wars. Grow up.
But Charlie, Charlerino,
Yo.
has this film ruined your love of Bond? Is No Time to Die awful?
No, it's not awful.
No? Is it awesome?
I'd say it's good.
Is it top shelf awesome?
It's not
the
top shelf.
awesomest film that you've ever seen?
I was a little bit disappointed, I must admit, when I first come out. I was, because the reviews made it out as if it was going to be like Casino Royale .2, and I was like, yes! I didn't get that. So, yeah, I found the second half to be quite... I found the villain to be quite weak.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I feel like, yeah, it could have been cut down a bit in certain areas, but I did enjoy myself. I need to see it again, as I've said like 5 times now. But yeah, I do.
Really
But
nailing home
it's
that.
it's a decent movie. I think I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. It's a decent movie, decent Bond film. It's not awful, but it's good. It does its job.
Yes, I agree with this.
No.
I've not really hidden my feelings because I don't have many. It's one of those. It's not top tier awesome. It's like it's good. It's good enough. It's a film. If you've been enjoying the Daniel Craig run, I feel like you're gonna get enough of a kick out of this to be like, it's a good closing of the chapters.
Yeah.
But if you're a big Casino Royale fan, then it's not gonna scratch that itch. If you're not a big Skyfall fan, it's not gonna scratch some itch. And at the end, when she's like, "Hey, let me tell you a story," maybe you'll be like me and just sit there with a confused look on your face, questioning if any of it happened. Which really happened. I went to watch this film with a friend, and the credits started, and I was still like, wait, what? But what? Wait, for like the entire duration of the credits. And then it popped up like, James Bond will return, and it was like, but you just killed the fucker. We just watched him. Not... If they put 007 will return, I would have been like, okay, cool. Naomi's going to be 007 next. They're going to call it 007 Naomi Mission 1.
Do you think that if they do a new one, they'll keep the cast of like Ralph Fiennes and stuff as M and that? Like, because you know how they did that with Pierce Brosnan, they kept M.
Yes. Judi Dench is
Judi
M.
Dench on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the wording of James Bond will return. Because up until Daniel Craig, we'd always kind of just accepted that James Bond face changes.
Just live forever. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just lives forever. But this, it is the historical. He died. He dead.
Yeah.
Is Mallory like? Also, the disrespect of calling M Mallory for like half the film. Like, come on, man. He got the position of M, and you're still like, Mallory, fucking let me do shit.
Yeah.
What do you double bill this with, Charles?
Look, guys. I know I'm British, and I know that I should love James Bond a lot, and I do.
Okay.
I do. But there is a franchise that is overseas that unfortunately I prefer, and that is Mission Impossible. And I would like to pair this up with a better movie, which is Mission Impossible. What one should I go for? I was gonna go for the fifth one. So
which one's the fifth one?
The one after Ghost Protocol, which is called. Why has it escaped me? It's my favourite one.
Is it the new one?
Not Fallout. Before Fallout. Why can't I remember the name? It's my favourite fucking Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation. Rogue Nation.
Yeah, Rogue Nation. Okay.
What the fuck's wrong with me? So Rogue Nation.
Okay.
Give it all the big one. I couldn't even remember the name of it. Yeah, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, because I feel like they're very similar in terms of like the spy movies, but this one's a bit more like action. This is very set piecey, but the action's got memorable moments and tension and insane stunts. And so I absolutely love that. It's got less class, I guess, than the Bond stuff, but they're way more. It's it's an enjoyable movie, and I feel like these two would go well together.
Yeah,
they both got very distinct villains in them as well. That kind of
The recent James Bond Daniel Craig kind of leaned into that like realistic element, was the Mission Impossible did lean into the gadget spy-esque.
Yeah,
like
I think that's
even
what I liked
after
about
all this time, they're still like got the rubber mask that they can whip off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's still got it's still holding true to its roots of this is dumb, but
the fun
but
stuff.
Believe it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say. Okay, so obviously the easy pick, Spectre. It was the one directly before this.
Yeah.
It set up the whole romance, and I guess the organization of Spectre. So that's the easy option. I guess Austin Powers would also be a good pairing because then you can watch like the serious gritty version, and then the one that just takes the piss out of the serious gritty version.
That's great.
I guess Goldeneye. Just rewatch Goldeneye. Just watch what after watching and having your heart ripped out with Daniel Craig.
Just some fun action.
Just some fun action. Watch Piers Brosnan come through a wall and spit out some dust because he's in a tank. That's the only. I don't know why my mind has suddenly just latched onto that scene, but it has.
It's because
it's
the great Bond Sting plays as well. It's just a great moment in general.
So good. What other spot? I guess a Knives Out. Knives Out would be good as well. There's a bit of a whodunit mystery in this, where like we're introduced to the villain at the beginning, and so we know that Mask Guy was probably the villain, and then at the end it's like, oh yeah, Mask Guy was Rami Malek and he was the villain, and then Knives Out, the guy knows that Ana de Armas was involved in the murder the entire time, and it's just who is the actual killer. Madness.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I can see that the Craig. I promised myself I wouldn't finish this,
and you haven't. I think there's a tiny bit left.
No, but like I promised myself I wouldn't drink any more than this because it's a lot.
Oh, yeah, man,
there's a lot in this.
Fully
there's a lot of sugar and calories. But I haven't had dinner because of doing this, so I end up.
You've gone for a liquid diet of innocent smoothie. I do feel like this podcast, you should just finish off the drink.
Finish
just
it
in a wanna. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't do it in a wanna because I like to enjoy my drinks.
No, in a wanna. like the film.
I love sometimes when I'm like talking about stuff like, and I'm thinking purely about the visual podcast. I forget the audio people are just like, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Stop talking nonsense as usual. Well, that's a good bright side about me going, isn't it? You don't have to hear me ramble as much anymore. Like I pretty much did this whole episode. I think I might have finished it with the most rambling Charlie of all time.
Oh yeah, it's going to be up there. Like even with a bit of editing, this is still going to be up there with Star Wars, mate. And
this is gonna
Avengers,
be
uncut,
pure uncut.
Yeah,
Bond finale.
This is it. Oh, swan song of Charlie.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count
to 10.
Yeah, this is weird to hit this part.
Yeah, I'm almost like I don't wanna.
No, same. We were having fun, and now I've ruined it again.
Sadness. Yeah. Just like the movie. It's all fun and games until somebody gets exploded.
Yeah.
Also,
I wish I could put
why does Remy come back?
Effects on me now. Just so you know. But then I could come back, so.
He could.
You don't want me to
just
die
like
on camera.
Remy Malek does. Why does he come back? They're all like running away. He's got the girl bites him. He drops the girl and is like, mate, if you want to fuck off, just fuck off. So the girl fucks off. And then he leaves. Daniel Craig opens up the silos. Remy appears out of nowhere and closes the silos and then shoots Bond. Wasn't he gonna be like flying away? I
think he just wanted to make sure Bond was gone. I don't know.
It's so...
Oh, because he put that thing in him, didn't he, Bond, where it was like he couldn't touch his daughter or Madeline. Cause...
Oh yeah, he like smeared some blood on his cheek and was like, haha, I win!
That's why he didn't want to live,
Bond just gets up and goes, bang!
That's why he didn't want to live, because he was like, well, if I can't touch my wife and child, I might as well be dead, so...
Yeah, the somber sadness of Mr. Bond. Can't lose two loves.
No, you really can't.
Oh dear. Yeah. I can though. So, I'm not gonna make you say all the plugs because I'll need the practice now.
Oh damn! Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you want to hear, if you message us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like, I'll relay those messages to Charlie. It's one of those. He might not be on the podcast, but he's not out of my life specifically. So in that way, you can still listen to the older episodes
and
be like, hey, me about any of them. In this episode, Charlie was a bit of a dick, and I'll be like, cool, let me tell him.
Please do.
So, Facebook, your favourite film is awful. Instagram, your favourite film is awful. Twitter, Fab Film is awful. And Patreon, I'm going to pause because I'm not going to have you pay in if we're not making episodes. And without Charlie, there's going to be a hiatus, full stop. Because, it's
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks, but
hey, no.
It's for the better. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I can always come back and help things out, and I'll be helping out behind the scenes anyway. We're helping Luke out with whatever I can anyway, because we're friends and stuff. So
exactly,
it'll be fine.
He's not gone and forgotten. He's just a big long-term hiatus.
Yes, won't be committing as much time.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is all good. It's dandy. Do you have any final words before we close the coffin on your life?
I don't know. I guess it'd be nice. I would love to know what people's favourite episode of the podcast has been.
Agreed.
And if you could message us or message me, that would be great. I'd really like to know that. I don't know. I guess if you've enjoyed listening to me talk about movies, I will try my best to still do that with my reviews on Letterboxd. So if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, which is just at Charlie Lilly, I believe.
I believe so too.
Or Lemon Juice Lilly, I don't know, whatever. Figure it out. You'll figure it out. But yeah, so just, feel free. I'm always about. So, yeah. I don't really have to send this off. It's weird.
Yeah. Once more with feeling, Charlie, I'm very grateful that you came on and did this with me. It's been a journey. It's been a time. I can't imagine doing this long term with anybody else, so it's gonna be weird if it do. You were a necessary ingredient in this mixture, and I am so glad that you were willing to commit as much time as you did and put in as much effort as you have for this little, I guess, long-term hobby, I guess, because we don't get paid yet, apart from Patreon, hey. But no, because I'm pausing it. Yeah, I'm sad to see you go, but I can't wait to see what you do, because I have no question in my mind that when you put your mind to stuff and you find the time to do it, you achieve fucking good shit. So.
Oh, thank you, man. That really means a lot.
Yeah, and I mean that you've been.
Thank you.
You've been so good in this and in personal, and I'm gonna veer away from that a little bit, because again, you're staying in my life. We've done this for too long. To fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're just not gonna be. It's not gonna be your favorite film is awful with Charlie and Luke. It's gonna be whatever it becomes, and and you're always welcome back, and you will be coming back for whenever I do a quiz.
100%.
I love a quiz.
Definitely.
And now I've committed to that idea, apparently.
And I just want to say thank you to just approach me in the first place. I mean, I'd never have thought podcasting would be something I would do. When you come up to me and first said, let's do this. I got this podcast idea. Do you want to do it with me? It was it clicked in my mind. I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I should be doing. I talk about movies all the time. Why not try and crack back some sort of content out of it and defend movies,
create content, create a community.
Yeah, and I was really frustrated with some of the YouTube stuff we were seeing at the time of cinema sins and stuff. And when Luke approached me with this idea, I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. This is kind of my stance against this sort of stuff. And I've had so much fun doing it. I've met so many amazing people. I've guested on this podcast. I've had my family. I've had my own friends on here. We've laughed our asses off. Yeah, it's been a good time. I'm really sad to go, but I'm hoping it's for the best for myself and future stuff. And yeah, I really appreciate your kind words, Luke. It's been great.
No doubt, man.
Yeah,
no doubt.
You're a great friend, and this has been really fun.
Oh, yeah. Don't go too far. Don't go
Yeah. Yeah.
But no. Yeah. So this is it.
Yep.
This is the end. No time to do another one.
No time to listen to Charlie talk shit.
Yeah. Listener, I hope that you've appreciated your time with Charlie. I know I have. In this context, I see him often enough in person, so I get way more than you. But listener, Charlie, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.
Take care, guys.
What's your favorite film?
God, that's awful.
Favorite?
Awful. Awful.
Your favorite film?
Awful.